Happy Kids TV.
The Holy Tale. Today I will tell you the story of Solomon's dream. Solomon was one of the 12 sons of King David of Israel. He was made king just before the death of David. Though Solomon was wise and had a good heart, he realized that he was too young to rule over the kingdom of Israel. Solomon also loved God very much, like his father David, so he decided to go to the holy place of Gibeon. There he offered sacrifices to the Lord and prayed. Finally, the Lord came to him in his dream. God said,
Solomon, ask me for whatever you wish for. Today, I will give you whatever you ask from me.
Solomon said,
Lord, you guided my father and showed him great mercy. Now you have chosen me to become the next king. I only wish for you to give me wisdom to rule over Israel with a wise heart.
God was very happy with Solomon's answer. He said,
I am truly happy when you had the chance to ask for riches, victory over your enemies, or long life. You asked for wisdom. I shall grant you your wish. You will be different from everyone else. There will be no one like you. You will also have success and riches. You will have all of this as long as you live by the commandments. This much I can promise.
And so Solomon turned out to be a great king as God promised. People from all over the world came to his court and paid him respect. Not only was he a good king, he was also a poet. He wrote many songs, and there are many records of his clever sayings. He was truly different from other kings. Okay, hope you were paying attention. Today's story is a little long. This story is about King Solomon, a very wise king of Israel. One day, two women came to Solomon's court to solve a problem they had. Solomon asked them,
Tell me, what is the problem?
The first woman said, My lord, we both live in the same house and we both have a baby boy. One night, as I put my baby to sleep, her little boy died. So she came and stole my baby and put her dead baby in its place. As I woke up in the morning to feed the child, I knew at once that the dead baby was not mine. And now she says she did not steal my baby. The second woman said, Of course I will say that, because this baby is mine. You lie. King Solomon sent for his guard and said,
Here, take this baby and cut him in half. I'll give one half to each woman.
The first woman, who was indeed the real mother, threw herself at Solomon's feet. She cried, Please do not kill the baby. Give him to the other woman, but please do not harm him. The second woman said very calmly, Of course, my lord, you can't cut him in half. This way, neither of us will have a baby, and this will solve our fight. King Solomon smiled. He now knew who the real mother was. Handing the baby to the real mother, the first woman, he said,
Here's your baby. Don't cry anymore. Your problem has been solved.
The entire Israel came to hear the story of Solomon's wise justice. Everyone now knew that King Solomon was indeed blessed by the Lord himself. Over time, King Solomon became known for his wise judgments.
To watch more videos, please subscribe.
Now the story is about the Temple of Solomon. A long time ago, King David of Israel had brought the sacred Ark of Covenant, which had the 10 Commandments, to Jerusalem. And now, after his death, his son Solomon decided to build the temple where it would be kept. Making of the temple was a great occasion. Builders from Phoenicia were called, and cedar, juniper, and cypress wood were brought across the great seas. Gold and silver, precious stones, and blocks of stone were especially cut from mountains far away. The temple took 7 years to finish, but when it was finally done, it was beautiful. It was grander than a palace. The doors were made of bronze. The walls were made of cedar wood, which had very beautiful carvings of flowers and trees made on it. The altars were also made from cedar wood and were covered with gold. The inner temple, where the ark was supposed to be kept, was made completely of gold. On the day it was finished, the priests of Levi carried out a small procession, bringing the holy chest inside the temple. When they left, a thick cloud filled the temple. It was so thick that the priests were not able to carry on their service. King Solomon spoke to the people.
Do not be scared. This is Lord's glory upon us. He has finally come to stay in this temple.
Saying this, King Solomon led a great prayer to God to bless his people and his house. The God answered,
Solomon, I grant your prayers. From this day on, I will live in this temple that you have made. I will keep Israel safe and bless your people.
Now, children, the story I'm about to tell you today is about Solomon in all his glory. Solomon had become rich as well as wise, just as God had promised. He had married an Egyptian princess, so he had a huge kingdom. All the land that was under him had to pay taxes, so Solomon had become very rich. He had a big army of almost 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horses. Ships from his kingdom sailed down to the Red Sea for trade and brought back spices, gold, ivory, and exotic birds. Soon his kingdom became famous for its wealth, and travelers from all over the world came to see the kingdom in all its glory. Solomon decided to build himself a grand palace in Jerusalem. The palace took 13 years to complete. Solomon was helped by the king of Tyre, Hiram. The glory of Solomon had spread far and wide. One day, Queen Sheba came to visit Jerusalem. She wanted to see if the tales of King Solomon's riches and grand palace were true or not. She brought many gifts with her from Arabia. When she reached Jerusalem, she was truly amazed. There was peace and prosperity in the promised land during Solomon's reign. She said, "Thank God for giving you so much. Not only that, but He has also made you wise, and your glory has spread far and wide." Jerusalem is indeed the promised land, as people call it. The story I'm about to tell you today is about Solomon turning away from God. King Solomon, the son of David, had become very rich. But though he was rich, he always managed to spend more than he had. So he would be forced to borrow from others. Then to pay back the money he had borrowed, he would tax his people heavily. When he needed workmen, he sent his officials to bring men to work as his slaves, and he always refused to pay them. Solomon was slowly turning away from God. Solomon had many wives during his lifetime. His wives were from many different countries, so they prayed to different gods and had their own religions. Instead of teaching them about his religion, Solomon made temples for each of their gods and eventually started praying to them too. All this made God very sad. He said to Solomon,
I thought you would stay faithful to me till the end, just like your father. But since you have broken the laws of the commandments, I will take everything away from you. For the sake of David, none of this will happen in your lifetime, but will happen in your son's life, and you will have only one tribe.
And so, just as God had said, when Rehoboam, Solomon's son, became the next king, he faced many problems.
That's so sad. I really liked Solomon.
I know, money can sometimes change a person. So I hope you paid attention. So, till next time, bye-bye. The Holy Tales.
To watch more videos, please subscribe.
Plants and trees. On the fourth day, God created the sun to shine in the day, the moon and stars to come out at night. One day, Moses went to Mount Horeb with his sheep. There, God appeared to him as a flame of fire in a bush. Since there was no room anywhere else, they decided to spend the night in a stable. Here, Mary had her baby, Jesus. She wrapped him in a blanket and put him to sleep.
He's got the whole world